Alright, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro. And of course, welcome back to Gurong Pinoy. If you are still not a member of Team Piaget, again, magpa-member na po kayo sa ating Team Piaget so that you can watch the full-length video. No? So again po yung ating video dyan sa ating Facebook page at dyan sa ating YouTube channel ay napuputol. So if you want to watch the full-length video, if you want to download my PowerPoint presentation, just become a member of Team Piaget. Your membership is valid until September of this year. So again, it's very easy to become a member. Mag-send lamang po ng message sa ating Facebook page, that is Gurong Pinoy. You can also answer our quizzes, and of course, there's free pre-board and there's free final coaching. I believe we've already posted a schedule for our pre-board and final coaching. So again, welcome back to all the members of Team Piaget, sa members nating mga Team Thunders, na mga medyo matagal na dito sa ating team. Maraming salamat, of course, welcome. And ganun din po sa ating mga newbies, so mga kakatune in pa lamang mga new members, welcome to Gurong Pinoy. And tonight's discussion is, of course, centered on general education. This is still part of the diagnostic test ng ating Team Piaget for June. Now, ang ating discussion ngayon, again, general education, 20 items all coming from March 2022, the licensure exam for teachers. But of course, let's all start with our opening prayer. So samahan niyo po ako as we pray. We thank you for this new day, Lord. Help us to embrace all that it may hold for us, to hear the bird song and have new melodies in our hearts, to see the sunrise and create beauty with our hands, to touch the leaves that grow afresh, and allow your love to touch our hearts, to smell the fragrance of the flowers and breathe in the wonder of your creation, to dwell on the beauty of our world and study and fathom your miracles, to enjoy the conversations we have and the lessons we go to. May we drink in all the goodness you have for us. Amen. All right, so again, as I have mentioned, tonight's discussion is centered on general education, all 5 areas of general education, so math, English, science, Filipino, social studies, or social science. And of course, we will be discussing 20 items. So, hihimay-himay natin yung parte ng inyong 20 items. What are some of the tips? What are some of the hints, some clues that you have in your question? Of course, bakit letter A yung sagot? Bakit hindi letters B, C, or D? Okay, now again, it's very important that you like our video and that you share our video so that we can reach out to more people para matulungan din po natin yung ating iba pang mga kaguro na nagpre-prepare para sa kanilang upcoming LET. No? You might be taking your LET this June, or you might be taking your LET in September. So again, if you are a member of Team Piaget, you don't need to download the videos. The videos stay in our group. The videos, of course, are full-length videos. You can download the PowerPoint presentation. There's no need for you to take any screenshots. And of course, there's no need for you to take down any notes. Na? So, mag-send lamang po ng message sa ating Facebook page. Now, please do like or love and of course, share this video. Again, lahat naman nag-share, lahat nag-like at nag-love, of course, ay makakapasa. No? So, sharing is caring. And of course, once you share, then you are also going to be blessed. Okay? So, please do like or love, and of course, share our video. Now, you can also support us by sending us stars on Facebook and also by sending us super chat, super stickers on YouTube. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now, again, welcome sa lahat ng ating mga newbies. Si Ma'am Manilyn Kalugmok, newbie from Davao City. Welcome. Okay, good evening po sa ating lahat, no, mga kaguro. From Palawan, Ma'am Lagrima Sudoy Zemolaba Antonio. Good evening po. Newbie, Ma'am Cecil Sebi Kimada. I'm just waiting for you to, of course, like, love, and share this video so that we can already start. Si Ma'am Sally Gonzaga Cordova. Good evening. Ma'am Cherry Galzote Rodriguez Sagon. Good evening po. Watching from Pangasinan. From Zamboanga, Sibugay. Ma'am Marilyn D. Guerrero. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Nina, for sending us your super sticker on YouTube. Maraming salamat po. Again, you may support us by sending us stars or by sending us super chat, super stickers. Nasa YouTube po yung ating super sticker. And of course, yung ating naman stars andyan po sa um, ating Facebook page. Ma'am Ninya, maraming salamat. Hindi ko kilala yung nasa profile picture ni Ma'am Ninya. BTS ba yan? Okay, so good evening and of course, welcome to Gurong Pinoy. Good evening po sa inyong lahat. And again, please do like, share this video. Again, like, love, and share this video. Let me check, no, kung po pwede na tayong mag-start. Again, paki-like na po. Paki-share ng ating video, especially if you feel and if just to show appreciation, no, sa Gurong Pinoy, of course, for everything that we're doing, for all the help that we are extending para makapag-prepare kayo for your upcoming letters. Only 62 people who have shared this video. Paki-like na po, love, and share ng ating video. Sir Jasper Sendon, pa-shout out, sabi ni Sir Jasper. Good evening po. Newbie from Olongapo City. Sir Jennifer or si Ma'am Jennifer Garcia Basa. Okay, again, please do like and share our video. Napaka-importante that you share this video. Maaaring isa sa inyo ay nakakita din ng ating video from the shares of your friends, no? So, sana i-share nyo din para naman matulungan din natin ang iba nyo pang friends. Okay, we start with question number 1. All right, number 1. This is a common question in the LET, no? So, this is part of comprehension, part of English. Nelson Mandela sacrificed so much in his life, family, friends, and a big chunk of his life for things he believed in. Democratic South Africa with equal rights and beacon of hope for the rest of the world. Nelson Mandela's dream for South Africa, which was realized, was blank. Is this letter A, cooperation, letter B, democracy, letter C, unity, or letter D, supremacy? Okay, what's your answer for number 1? New member from Shokon, Zamboanga del Norte, si Sir, okay, vlog ni Sir yata to, Sir Naruto Gaming. Okay, what's your choice for question number 1? This is very easy, no? Explicit pa nga, nakikita nyo yung term sa ating paragraph, no, or sa ating selection. Okay, so a lot of you are saying B, although some are saying A, no? Iba letter A, pero karamihan sabi letter B. Okay, we go back to number 1. Sabi ng number 1 mo, Nelson Mandela sacrificed so much in his life, no? So nagsakripisyo siya of his family, he sacrificed his friends, a big chunk of his life for things he believed in, and that would be democratic South Africa with equal rights and beacon of hope for the rest of the world. Democratic South Africa, meaning free South Africa. Nelson Mandela's dream for South Africa, which was realized, or that means which came true, of course, was, is it letter A, cooperation, letter B, democracy, letter C, unity, or letter D, supremacy? Of course, the correct choice here would be letter B, democracy. Andyan na, okay? Nakalagay na po, democratic South Africa, free South Africa. And so democracy, letter B, is ang tumpak na choice for number 1. Now, we all know who Nelson Mandela was, no? So he was imprisoned, and of course he was fighting for democracy nga in South Africa. Eventually, he became the president, the leader of South Africa. And he died on the same day that Paul Walker died, no? So Paul Walker yung bida sa Fast and Furious. And of course, it was very sad because more people knew who Paul Walker was, less people knew who Nelson Mandela was. Paul Walker, of course, was a famous actor, but Nelson Mandela was a very good, very strong leader for South Africa. And eventually, he was able to, of course, give democracy, give freedom to South Africa. Okay, so letter B po ang ating tumpak na choice dito. Nakalagay na po dyan, democratic South Africa. So letter B, democracy, is tumpak. Okay? Kung ligwak, okay lang po yan. Move on lang tayo. Okay, number 2, which of the following is the correct name for the compound MnF3? Okay, so ito medyo madugo. Is it letter A, manganese fluoride 3? Letter B, manganese 3 fluoride. Letter C, manganese 1 fluoride 3. Letter D, manganese 3 fluoride 3. Okay, which one do you think is tumpak for number 2? Okay, I see A's, B's, D's. Meron ding C, samut-sari. Now again, all the items that we're discussing now were part of March 2022, no? So ito yung mga lumabas sa March 2022 na let. A, B, D. A, karamihang A. Okay, so this question here, of course, is from chemistry. Okay, so galing ito sa chemistry. Puntahan muna natin yung ating slides. Okay, makinig. At medyo madugo ito na parte ito ng aking lesson sa aking physical science grade 9 students ko. Okay, so we are asked for the correct name of the compound MnF3. Oh, you all know Mn here is manganese. And F, of course, that's fluorine. Okay, so we are asked, is it manganese fluoride 3, manganese 3 fluoride, manganese 1 fluoride 3, or manganese 3 fluoride 3? Okay, puntahan muna natin yung ating slides. The first slide that we have here is talking about the two major types of bonds. Okay, so meron tayong two major types of bonds that can be formed between the different elements that we have in your periodic table. So unang-una meron kang tinatawag na ionic bond. And this type of bond, of course, is formed between a metal and a non-metal. Okay, so metal plus a non-metal, that's your ionic bond, formed between your ions. No? So pag sinabi mong ions, hindi si ion ni Vice Ganda ha, pag sinabi mong ions, these are charged particles. No? So these are particles with charges. It can be positively charged, yung tinatawag nating cation, or it can be negatively charged, yung tinatawag nating anion. Okay, so usually, your metals are going to be positively charged because your metals, between your metals and your non-metals, your metals are kinder, no? Mas mapagbigay sila. And so what happens is that they would lose their electron. Now, you know that your electron is negatively charged. So negative yung charge ng electron mo. Once your metals would lose their electron, their charge would become positive. Because of course, hindi na magiging equal yung number ng inyong protons at inyong electrons. So pag nag-lose siya ng isang electron, yung charge na ay magiging +1. No? So cation siya. Yung non-metals mo, on the other hand, they have the tendency to gain electrons. So once they gain electrons, they become anion. So nagiging negatively charged sila. No? So again, ionic bond is formed between your metal and your non-metal. Now, the second type of bond that you have here is your covalent bond. Covalent bond, on the other hand, this is formed between two non-metals or pwedeng between a metalloid and a non-metal. No? So, yung difference din dito would be sa iyong covalent bond, your electrons are not lost nor gained. Hindi ka naglo-lose or nag-gain ng electron mo. Yung element mo would not lose or gain electron. Your electrons here are shared, hence the term co. No? So pag sinabi mong co-star, co-lead, co-worker, parehas kayo. No? So here, your elements are just sharing the electrons. The electrons are not transferred. The electrons are not gained nor lost. Okay? So pero sa ionic bond mo, your metals would lose the electron, your non-metals would gain the electrons. Now, saan yung sinasabi nating metals, non-metals, and metalloids if you are looking at your periodic table? So if this is your periodic table of elements, ito yung inyong metalloids, no? So boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, and your polonium. Itong parang staircase, no, na kulay yellow, ito yung inyong metalloid. Now, when you say metalloid, this is also a very common question in the LET. Which among the following is true about metalloids? So, inyong magiging choice doon would be, they have characteristics of both metals and nonmetals. Kasi nasa gitna sila ng metals and nonmetals. And so their characteristics would also be intermediate between those two types of elements. So again, these are your metalloids. Going to the right of your metalloids, itong carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, etc. These are non-metals. Okay, so non-metals mo po ito, including hydrogen. Okay, so even hydrogen is a nonmetal. So hydrogen, and to the right of your metalloids, those are nonmetals. Now the rest of your elements here, yung mga hindi included sa inyong metalloids and nonmetals, are all metals. Metals na po itong lahat, no? Hanggang dito sa baba, yung lanthanide series mo at yung actinide series mo, lahat po yan metals na. Okay, so if you have a combination again between a metal and a non-metal, for example, you have sodium and chlorine. No? Sodium is a metal, your Na. And chlorine is a non-metal. So metal plus non-metal, you are going to form an ionic bond. Now, if you have, say, carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen, or even carbon monoxide, carbon and oxygen, both are non-metals. And so what you form would be covalent bond. Okay, so yan kanina yung sinasabi ng previous slide natin. Now, if you are thinking about your covalent compounds, yung covalent, that means both of the elements are non-metals, or po pwedeng isang metalloid, isang non-metal. If you are thinking about your covalent bond or covalent compounds, when you name your covalent compounds, you'll be using prefixes. Okay, so I'm not sure if you have studied this. I'm pretty sure you've studied this in your chemistry in high school, no? Pag meron pa kayong NatSci sa college, binalikan nyo to. Or meron kayong chemistry sa college, binalikan nyo to. In my case here sa US, this is part of physical science na sa grade 9 ko na students. Okay, so these are the different prefixes. 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri. Parang katulad siya ng prefixes sa inyong geometry. Okay, sa geometry nyo na subject. Okay, so when you're thinking about your polygon, ganito din, di ba? Yung pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, and so on. Okay, so if you have this, if you have this, yung mono, again, mono means one. And ang mono na term, hindi natin siya ginagamit sa first element. So you don't say mono nitrogen. Hindi siya ginagamit sa first element. Ginagamit lamang siya sa second element. So here, your name for NO, both of them again are non-metals. So we will be using the prefixes because that is how you name your covalent compounds. You have nitrogen monoxide. Okay, so nitrogen monoxide, or you can say nitrogen monooxide. Nitrogen dioxide. Bakit naging dioxide? Because you have two oxygen. No? So dalawa yung oxygen mo. Your subscript here pertains to the number of atoms that you have for oxygen. So dalawang oxygen, isang nitrogen, nitrogen dioxide dito. Dinitrogen trioxide. Okay, so dinitrogen tetraoxide or tetroxide. So again, you will be using prefixes whenever you are dealing with your covalent compounds. Okay, now, what about your ionic compounds? Sa ionic compounds mo naman, iba. Remember, we said sa ionic compounds mo, you are dealing with ions. No? So those are the metals that would be losing the electrons, and your non-metals, on the other hand, would gain the electrons. So if your element belongs to group 1, the charge should be +1. No? So ito yung kinoconsider mo when you are naming your ionic compounds. Pag yung element mo belongs to group 2, the charge should be +2. If it belongs to group 13 or group 3A, the charge should be +3, and so on. 15, 16, 17 mo, negative na to because these are already your non-metals here. Okay, so 15, -3, your nitrogen, the charge is -3. Oxygen, which belongs to group 16, the charge is -2. Your halogens, your chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, they would all have the charge of -1. So -1 po yung kanilang charge. So what happens is that you take a look at the charge, and we would crisscross the charges. Whatever will be the charge of your cation and your anion, they would become the subscript in your final formula. Okay, so puntahan natin yung ating mga different examples. And of course, in the middle here, these are what you call your transition metals, and their charges would vary. So iba-iba yung charge ng inyong transition metals. And so what we use here, we would be using Roman numerals. So kanina pag nakita ninyo, kung naalala nyo yung ating choices, may Roman numeral ka na 2, 3, 4 na nasa parenthesis. Okay? Because we were dealing with transition metals. Manganese is a transition metal. Okay? So punta natin yung mga example. So here, barium oxide. Okay? So barium oxide, wala kang nakikitang subscript. Okay? So as you can remember, we said oxygen's charge was -2, barium's charge was +2, no? So yung charge ng barium dito is +2 because it belongs to group 2. Ang charge ng inyong oxygen is -2 because it belongs to group 6A. And so you can just cancel those charges. And so what happens is that wala ka magiging subscript. Okay, so BaO lamang yung inyong formula. And you'd simply write your first element as the name that you see in your periodic table, so barium lamang. And the second element would end with IDE, no? So IDE form, barium oxide. This one is magnesium iodide. No? We're not using prefixes. Wala pong di, tri, tetra, hexa, hepta sa inyong ionic compound. So you just write it as is. And you have to remember that the second element should end with the IDE. No? This is potassium chloride, calcium sulfide, and this is gallium bromide. No? Now here, as you can see sa ating names, wala pong Roman numerals because we're not dealing with any transition metal. Wala tayong metal dito that would belong in that big chunk in the middle. No? So your barium belongs to group 2, potassium here is a number 3 mo, it belongs to group 1. Okay? So as is lamang yung pagkakasulat ng kanilang pangalan. Now, if you are dealing with your transition metals like tin, mercury, copper, iba-iba po yung kanilang charges. And so what you do is you have to look at the subscript. Okay, so katulad dito, yung subscript mo for fluorine is 4, which means na yung charge ng tin mo here is +4 because the charge of fluorine is -1. Remember, fluorine is part of your group 7 or group 7A, your halogen, and all their charges are -1. So once you crisscross +4 and -1, pag kinrisscross mo yan, yung +4 na charge ng tin mo would become the subscript for fluorine, and the -1 for fluorine would become the subscript for tin. And we don't usually write na, no? We don't write the subscript of 1. So here, once you name this, you'll name this tin 4 fluoride. Saan nanggaling yung 4? Nanggaling yung 4, of course, from the charge of tin. Okay? Na naging subscript ng inyong fluorine. Okay? So that would be your answer. Here, fluorine again is -1. Copper should be -2. +2, I mean. +2 siya dahil 2 yung subscript ng fluorine mo. And so you name this as copper 2 fluoride. Here, you have copper 1 sulfide, no, and so on. Sulfur is -2 and copper is +1. So going back to your question here, if you have MnF3, ano yung subscript ng F mo? Looking at the subscript of fluorine, ano yung subscript ng ating fluorine? Okay, nakikita nyo yung subscript ng fluorine nyo is 3, which means na yung charge ng manganese mo dito should have been +3. Okay, so +3 ang manganese mo dyan. And fluorine is -1. Hence, ang tumpak na choice would be manganese 3 fluoride. Okay, so manganese 3 fluoride po ang ating tumpak na choice. Manganese has a charge of +3, kaya meron kang subscript na 3 sa inyong fluorine. And fluorine here has a charge of -1. So manganese 3 fluoride yung ating tumpak na choice. Okay? Okay, so ligwak number 2. Medyo mahaba yung explanation natin. Mahirap itong pag-aralan, no? So usually, mahaba yung explanation for 3 days, 4 days yung covalent compounds, and 4 days din sa ionic compounds. No? Pero nagigets ito ng ating grade 9 students. So, kung nakita nyo ito sa chemistry, kung naaalala nyo pa sa chemistry nyo, ito po yung pag-name nyo ng inyong compound, ionic compound. So letter B, manganese 3 fluoride is tumpak. Okay, move on na tayo. We go to number 3. Paborito nyo, math. Ruben's grade in 6 subjects are 88, 89, 84, 90, 91, and 86. What is the least grade that he should aim for in the 7th subject if he has to have an average of 88? Is it letter A, 91, letter B, 93, letter C, 88, or letter D, 90? Okay, what's your choice? Ma'am Tonet Lanete, yung option to send stars po nandun po sa ating Facebook page. Wala po sa Team Piaget. Okay, number 3, what's your choice? Letter C, letter D. Again, pakishare po ng ating video. There's 440 people watching us on Facebook. Please do like and share our video. Paki-like and paki-share po ng ating video. All right, now I can see B's, D's, C's. Alin kaya yung tumpak? Okay, so you have Ruben. At meron siyang grades dito for 6 subjects ng 88, 89, 84, 90, 91, 86. Kung gusto niya magka-average ng 88, ano dapat yung least grade niya? Okay, now a lot of you are answering letter C. Tingnan natin kung ano yung ating sagot. All right, now you know that your average is taken by dividing the sum by the number of items, no? The number of items that you have. So here what we do is we write the average of 88 and we equate this as equal to the sum of all the numbers plus x, no? So saan nanggaling yung 88, 89, 84? Ito po yung ating given na 6 na grades plus x, yung x natin, ito yung ating hinahanap. And this should be divided by 7 because we all have 7 items in total now. So 7 items. So what we do is we add this all up, okay, and that would give us 528 plus x divided by 7. Now, of course, we want to isolate the x here, now the 528 plus x. And so what we do is we multiply both sides by 7. By doing that, we have 88 times 7 equals 528 plus x. Okay, so na-cancel na itong divisor na 7 mo because we multiplied both sides by 7. Now, 88 times 7 would give you 616. And that would still be equal to 528 plus x. Now, to get the value of x, of course, we need to subtract 528 from 616. So 616 minus 528 equals x, and that would be equal to 88. Okay, so that means letter C ang tumpak na choice, 88. Now, there is an easier way for you to solve this. No, meron tayong video na to, yung math tricks for the averages. Okay, I am going to show you how to solve for that. Okay, so this is your average, 88. And these were your 6 different grades. No? So, ayan yung 6 different grades mo. What we do is we minus, add, and add. Okay, anong ibig sabihin ng minus dito unang-una? Minus, what you do is you subtract all the grades here from the average. Okay, so isasubtract mo lahat ng grades dito from the average. Okay, so what you do is you subtract 88 from 8. So 88 minus from 88 now. So 88 minus 88, that's 0. Then you have 88 minus 89. That would give you negative 1. 88 minus 84, that's positive 4. 88 minus 90, that's negative 2. 88 minus 91, that's negative 3. Then you have 88 minus 86, that's plus 2. Okay, so again, minus. Then, all of the differences here, you add them all up. So, i-add mo tong lahat, no? So, 0 minus 1, that's negative 1. Plus 4, that would be positive 3. Minus 2, that's 1. Minus 3, that would be negative 2. Plus 2, negative 2 plus 2, of course, that would give you 0. And whatever is your answer here, you should add that to your average. Okay, so i-add mo yun dito sa average. But since 0 naman yung ating sum, no, once you added up all the differences from your grades here, 0 naman siya. So wala tayong i-add sa 88. And so your answer would still be letter C, 88. Okay, so letter C, 88 pa rin po yung ating tumpak na choice. So again, minus or subtract all these grades from your average. And kung ano man yung result no, ng kada difference mo dyan, you add them all up. And whatever is the result of your sum here, you add that to your actual average. And that's how you'll get the 7th subject's grade. Okay? So meron po tayong meron po tayong video nito sa YouTube. Hanapin niyo po, Math Tricks for Average ng sa Gurong Pinoy. Okay, now again, number 3, letter C is tumpak. Okay, now number 4, a map is drawn to scale such that 1.5 centimeters on the map corresponds to 75 kilometers in actual distance. How many centimeters on the map would represent the distance between the two towns, which are 270 kilometers apart? Is it letter A, 2.7 centimeters, letter B, 1.8 centimeters, letter C, 3.6 centimeters, or letter D, 5.4 centimeters? Okay, what's your choice? I see letter D's. Sure na? Okay, so ito ratio and proportion, sabi ni Sister Agnes. Yes, no? So ratio and proportion lamang ito. I see D's and C's. Sino kaya ang tumpak? Alright, so sabi dito, 1.5 centimeters would be equal to 75 kilometers. So now we are looking for the number of centimeters once your number of kilometers 270. Okay, so again, ratio and proportion lamang ito. No? So 1.5 is to 75. Kinuha po natin siya dito sa first part ng inyong question. 1.5 equals 75 equals X, we are looking for that, no? So centimeters, how many centimeters, equals 270 kilometers. Now, you all know in your ratio and proportion, the product of your extremes, itong mga nasa labas mong terms, should be equal to the product of your means, okay? So what we do is we multiply 1.5 by 270. Okay, so 1.5 times 270. Then, of course, we divide that by 75 para makuha natin itong ating x. Okay, so 1.5 times 270 would give you 405 divided by 75. The tumpak na choice is 5.4 and that would be letter D. Okay, so letter D is tumpak for number 4. Move on kapag ka naligwak. Okay, so again, if you are a member of Team Cache, you can download my PowerPoint presentation later. No po pwede nyo ding i-print if you want to print. So there's no need for you to take any screenshots. There's no need for you to take down any notes. All right, number 5. Oh, this is easy. Simple grammar. On your trip to Tagaytay, if you chance upon Arsenio, please give blank my warm regards. Letter A, himself. Letter B, him. Letter C, myself. Or letter D, me. Okay, what's your choice for number 5? All right, again, please do like and share our video, no? Kukonti pa lamang yung nag-share. We have 400 plus people watching us on Facebook, but only 100 plus has shared. Okay, so again, paki-share po ng ating video. Very important that you're sharing our video so that we can have more kaguro, no? More students. We can help more students. All right, I see a lot of letter B's. And of course, letter B is tumpak here. On your trip to Tagaytay, if you chance upon Arsenio, Arsenio, of course, is a boy, no? Wala namang, nakakilala ba kayong Arsenio na babae? Wala namang her dito sa ating choices. If you chance upon Arsenio, please give him my warm regards. Okay, so letter B, him, is tumpak for number 5. Number 6. Is this the spot blank you had the accident? Letter A, why? Letter B, wherein? Letter C, where? Or letter D, which? Okay, what's your choice for number 6? Sabi ni Ma'am Jennifer dito, naging binabae po ma'am si Arsenio. Okay, letter C, number 6. Letter C kaya ang tumpak. Okay, so is this the spot blank you had the accident? Of course, ang tumpak na choice dito, letter C. No? Huwag nyo nang pahirapan yung sarili nyo. Huwag na kayong mag-overthink. No? Huwag na mag-overthink. Is this the spot where you had the accident? We were talking about the place. And so, of course, letter C is what we are looking for. Hindi po where in. No? So, hindi na kailangan may in. Where lang, where you had the accident. Hindi why, hindi which. So letter C for number 6 is tumpak. Number 7, wise people can blank with frustrations. Letter A, cope up. Letter B, cope in. Letter C, cope on. Letter D, cope. Okay, ano po yung ating choice for number 7? Okay, I see D's, A's. All right, going back to number 7 here, wise people can blank with frustrations. Cope up with frustrations, cope in with frustrations, cope on with frustrations, or cope with frustrations. Ang tumpak na choice dito is letter D, cope with frustrations. Now, yung cope up po na term, no, wala pong cope up na term sa English, sa grammar, no, English grammar, wala pong cope up with. Filipino English po yan. No? So, iwasan na po natin yung paggamit ng terms na cope up. You just say cope with. Cope with would be the correct phrase, hindi po cope up with. Okay? So, wise people can cope with frustrations. Okay? So, with here, of course, is your preposition. So, you don't need another preposition na up, no, to complete your sentence. Cope with is tumpak. Okay, so letter D for number 7 is tumpak. Number 8, this is a tax imposed on all employed and practicing professionals. Letter A, income tax. Letter B, community tax. Letter C, real estate tax. Or letter D, inheritance tax. Okay, number 8, what is your choice? 8A, I see A's for number 8. All right, going back to number 8, very common question, very easy. This is a tax imposed on all employed and practicing professionals. So if you are working, you are employed, kung po pwedeng empleyado ka, or if you are practicing as professional, you're practicing your profession, po pwedeng lawyer ka, po pwedeng doktor ka, no? Although I'm not sure if your doctors are paying their income tax, no? Because yun yung claim ng iba, hindi sila nagbabayad ng income tax. Pag teacher ka, of course, magbabayad ka nito. And so, of course, your tumpak na choice would be letter A, income tax. Your community tax is what you call your cedula, no? So, isa siyang requirement as a member of a certain community, as a resident. Usually, kailangan mo siya sa barangay certificate when you are applying for jobs, when you are applying for your NBI, for example, kailangan mo ng cedula, no? Para siyang proof that you are a resident of that barangay, of that community. Now, ang community tax mo naman is required siya for all citizens who are 18 years old, no? Pero yung nangyayari, hindi naman kumukuha ng sedula unless kailangan. Real estate, of course, this is for your houses, no? For your houses, your lots, real estate tax yung tawag natin. And inheritance tax, this is a tax imposed for any inheritance. So pag meron pinamana sa'yo, meron ka pang babayaran na inheritance tax. But of course, here, number 8, A po yung ating tumpak na choice. Number 9, leaves are green in the sunlight because, letter A, they absorb the green light. Letter B, their tints bounce off. Letter C, they absorb the blue and yellow object and yellow light. Letter D, they reflect green light. Okay, ano yung ating tumpak na choice for number 9? Okay, number 9, ICDs. Very common question na ito sa LET, no, as part of science sa inyong Gen Ed. Okay, bakit green yung leaves? Okay, welcome natin yung mga kaklase daw ni Ma'am Sheila Gitalan. Mga classmates niyang nanonood ngayon, B.Ed Batch 2020, CTU Naga Extension Campus Cebu. Welcome po sa ating mga newbies. Okay, here I see a lot of letter D's. Tumpak kaya yung letter D. No, leaves are green in the sunlight because ang tumpak na choice dito would be letter D. Tama yung letter D. They reflect green light. Okay, so the rest of the colors of light are actually absorbed by your leaves, and green light bounces off. No, so green light is reflected. So whatever color of light is reflected, that actually is a color that we see. Okay, so yun yung kulay, yung color na nakikita natin, yan yung kulay na nire-reflect, yan yung kulay na hindi na-absorb ng inyong leaves. Okay, so letter D is tumpak for number 9. They reflect green light. Number 10, the asexual reproduction, which occurs when a new organism develops from an outgrowth, is called letter A, fission, letter B, budding, letter C, fertilization, or letter D, grafting. Okay, what's your choice? Oh, nakasanayan na yung cope up, no? Pinoy, Filipino English, cope up with. Okay, pero yung tumpak na term should be cope with. Wala pong cope up. All right, number 10. What's your choice? B, D, C? Again, please do share our video. Paki-share po ng ating video, mga kaguro. It's very important that you share our video so that we can reach out to more people para mas marami pa po tayong matulungan. Maraming salamat sa 171 shares sa Facebook. Okay? Although almost 500 tayo sa Facebook, no? Kukonti pa lang yung nag-share. All right, letter B or letter D? May ilan pang letter C. Number 10, sabi dito, the asexual reproduction, which occurs when a new organism develops from an outgrowth, is called. Now, one very important hint that you have here is the term asexual. There are two types of reproduction, po pwedeng sexual, po pwedeng asexual. When you say sexual reproduction, of course, that would be involving your sex cells, your sex gametes, yung gametes mo, your sperm cell, and the egg cell. But when you say asexual, there is no involvement of your sex cells. So walang sex cells. So here, we are looking for asexual reproduction. So ligwak na itong fertilization mo. You all know fertilization is the union of the sperm cell and the egg cell, the union of your sex cells. And we are looking for an asexual reproduction here in number 10. So hindi na po pwede itong letter C mo. We're left with A, B, and D. Now, other hints. New organism develops from an outgrowth. No? So that means merong sumibol, merong outgrowth, and a new organism develops from that. And so the correct choice here would be letter B. Budding po yung ating hinahanap. Okay, so budding is the tumpak na choice. Let's take a look at our slides. Okay, so this one right here is an example of budding in hydra. No? So what happens is that meron kang bud. Once the bud here gets chopped off from your organism, that would give or that would rise up to another organism. No? So that's budding. So itong mga buds mo, they can become a new organism. That's budding in Hydra, and that's letter B. That is our tumpak na choice. Fission happens in bacteria. This is what we call binary fission. By binary, we mean two. Okay, so what you have is that yung inyong bacterium no singular, the body of your bacterium just splits by two, and so we call that binary fission. And so napakabilis for your bacteria to form groups or colonies dahil their form of reproduction is asexual, no involvement of the sex cells, and what they do is their body is just split by two. So napakabilis nilang gumawa ng groups or colonies. That's binary fission in bacteria. Lumalabas po ito sa letas. Dapat alam nyo kung anong form of asexual reproduction in bacteria. You call that binary fission. Now, this right here is your fertilization. And this, of course, the one in our picture is in humans. Now, you have the sperm cells and, of course, the egg cell. Now, again, your sperm cells and your egg cells are both sex cells. And so fertilization is a form of sexual reproduction, hindi po siya asexual reproduction. Now, you all know that only one sperm cell would be able to fertilize the egg cell. So, kaya nga sinasabi natin, lahat tayo ay winners. Now, all of us are winners in life because we are all products of that winner sperm cell. Okay? Yung sperm cell ng tatay mo na nakapag-fertilize sa egg cell ng nanay mo. No? So, winners tayo lahat. So, this is the main reason why I am pregnant. No? I'm currently pregnant. I'm almost ready to give birth. No? So, malapit na akong mga anak. Okay, so this is fertilization. This is human fertilization. Fertilization happens, of course, in all other animals and, of course, in plants. Fertilization din yung ating tawag sa union ng inyong ovule at ang inyong pollen grain. Okay, so fertilization din yung tawag natin doon. Now, this here is grafting. Asexual reproduction din siya. Now, usually what you do is kinakat mo yung mature na part ng inyong puno. You'd call this the rootstock. Tapos may nilalagay kang parang, these are the younger parts na yung scion. Okay, and this is done by several farmers. So usually sa fruit trees, ginagawa nila yung grafting. Okay, but of course, we were looking for budding. Okay, so budding letter B, ang tumpak na choice. All right, we go to number 11. Who was the father of modern taxonomy and responsible for coining the term Homo sapiens for humans? What's your choice? For number 11.